Hello, whole food plant-based community. I am Lacey Cattell. I am your certified holistic nutritionist, and I am here to provide you a little bit of support. Um, this is a continuation from last week, so this is our second session live. I didn't have as many questions as I had hoped, but I will discuss some of the main points that were addressed in the group and also that were asked of me on private messaging, and just some overall topics that I think are important throughout your whole food plant-based journey and overall weight loss challenges. So more recently, we have had some questions about more hearty meals. I think we had some people asking in terms of their significant other, they want something that's a little bit more filling, maybe more meat-like. So some of my suggestions, especially let's first cover the types of foods that you're taking to work. So when you're taking to work and you need something that's easy to grab and convenient, our first thought may have been a sandwich or even a burrito. So burritos are great options. You can fill them with, your vegetables, various beans, rice. If you want, you can do quinoa. So that's a great option for a hearty meal. And also some bean burgers. So I really like a black bean burger. There are various options for beans that you can just switch in and out for different ingredients. And it also include beets. So a black bean and beet burger is a really good option. In our 21-day slim down program, we have a black bean burger type wrap, and that's a really great option. It's not just for those that are trying to lose weight, because it is a type of meal that is very filling, but also very tasty as well. So those would be great options. If you're at home, Asian style dishes are really great. You could do like a sticky type cauliflower or a pad thai. Those can all be made oil free. Those would be some great options as well. Next, we also touched on some meal ideas or foods to incorporate for weight loss. If you haven't checked out our files within the group, I would suggest checking those out. We have a couple resources that you can just refer to know what types of whole foods that you can include in your daily meals, your regimen, because if you're new or transitioning to a whole food plant-based lifestyle, it can be quite overwhelming. And I see that we have wonderful resources in this group, whether it's a book or a podcast or a YouTube channel. But at the same time, I know we get thrown into this lifestyle and we're like, where do we begin? So, finding the time to read these books or refer back to a podcast, it's not always viable for our schedules. So that's where I'm trying to put the information together that you can screenshot, or you can download it to your PC so that you can carry it with you. You can print it off and laminate it. All great options. I also have on my back end on my website, I have a free handout that is a kitchen reset. So if you're interested in that, feel free to send me a message or leave a comment below, and I can always send that to you as well. I have a lot of clients that print that off, laminate it, and it's just a good reference on, okay, if I'm not reaching for, whole cow's milk, what's a good alternative? Our oat milks or a homemade cashew milk, all great options as well. Another topic that was discussed and that I have consulted with on a couple of times with different people from the group are the weight loss plateauing. So when this happens, we want to not only dig into the types of food that we should be eating, but laying out what we are actually eating. So we want to take into account the time of the day that we're eating. So if we're eating, first thing in the morning, are we eating closer to bedtime? Because that does play a role in our metabolism and our digestion. So I see a lot of inquiries about, how many calories should I be consuming? And the beauty of a whole food plant-based lifestyle is that, realistically, we don't want to count calories. We want to include nutrient-dense foods and ingredients that are going to nourish our bodies, but also that aren't going to make us gain that weight. But if our ultimate goal is weight loss, then we can achieve that with ease. So I know sometimes it can be challenging knowing how much we should be eating or how much of a certain food we are eating. Again, I want you to take into consideration how you're feeling, because weight loss isn't just counting calories and trying to find that deficit. It's really finding a balance of the types of foods that you're eating and making sure that the lifestyle is sustainable. Because if it's not, then a whole food plant-based lifestyle isn't going to feel like it can be sustainable. So we want to make sure that this is a lifestyle rather than just a diet, which I know there are a lot of members coming in from various diets and really fine-tuning our mindset from before we couldn't eat starches, or we couldn't eat certain fats. Different types of these fad diets have rewired our brains to think negatively about certain food options. Whereas with the whole food plant-based lifestyle, we have to rewire our brains and train ourselves and our bodies to accept these types of foods and be able to allow them into our lifestyle and know that we can incorporate them and still lose weight and also have it be sustainable in the long term. So in terms of the plateauing from a weight loss, maybe you lost 10, 15 pounds and now you're stuck and you still have, those stubborn 5, 7 pounds to lose. I suggest, evaluating what you are eating, because you may not be eating enough. We may need to evaluate your physical activity. If you are, trying to reach that calorie deficit, which I don't advise counting calories, but if you are physically active, then you want to make sure that you are eating enough, because sometimes our bodies go into the starvation mode because we're afraid that, we don't know when our next meal is going to be, or maybe we aren't eating enough to satiate our internal digestion and metabolism. So we also have to pay attention to our body cues and really incorporate the intuitive eating into the whole food plant-based lifestyle as well. There are great books and references telling us what we should eat, but it also comes down to the times that we're eating, the food that we're eating, our physical activity, and making sure that we are reaching a sustainable intake that is going to really nourish our body and give us the most bang for our buck, because we want to make sure that we're incorporating all these nutrients and vitamins. So if we are, stuck in this, let's say, food plan or lifestyle that is very limited on the foods that we are incorporating, then our body can become accustomed to it. And so sometimes we need to switch up those foods, whether it's the grains, whether it's switching up your salad for a lunch rather than a dinner, things like that. So sometimes we have to go in and evaluate what the foods are that you're eating, the time of day, and whether you're eating enough. Really just vary your foods, because if we're not giving your bodies options, then we're probably lacking some of the nutrients that we can be acquiring through this whole food plant-based life. If you are facing some type of challenge, maybe it's getting rid of oils, maybe it's getting rid of sugars, leave me a comment so we know what kind of challenge would be beneficial for all of you. And we'll host more challenges. So if the first challenge isn't, it's not really a challenge for you, then maybe you can still participate, and the next challenge will be a little bit harder for you. So that's also an option for our challenge. But I would love your feedback. You can leave a comment below. Again, you guys can reach out to me personally, and I would love to get your feedback, answer any questions you have, any concerns. If we're coming from a different diet or lifestyle, I realize this can be somewhat drastic of a change because, again, we have been wired to think one way about foods, and now we are, oh, we can have starches, or, we don't have to count calories. These are all great stepping stones into the lifestyle. So feel free to reach out to me if you're having challenges with this. If you have any questions, I'm here. I know it's springtime and a lot of us packed on the pounds during quarantine. And now that the weather is nicer, we are trying to lose weight. So I want to remind you that we do have the 21-day slim down program. It's all whole food plant-based. It includes a recipe or a meal guide, recipes for all 3 weeks. You also receive a travel guide thrown into that. So if that's something that you're interested in, please feel free to leave a comment below. Again, I'm here. I'm Lacey Cattell, your certified holistic nutritionist. And thank you for being in this group. I hope you are getting a lot of value out of it. And of course, please give me some feedback and let me know if there's something that I can further support you in. Have a great day.